Oh, yeah.
Guess
Did
who's
you
back?
want a little? Did you have a little? Are you in need of some answers? Because you've come to the right place. Manswers goes good with every meal. Manswers. It's Manswers, Mom. Mom.
It's what for dinner? It's Manswers.
I don't
It's what's
appreciate
for
that you're
dinner.
speaking to your mother with that tone of voice.
It's not the my mom. It's mothers in general.
It's D-moms.
Yeah,
We're motherfuckers.
There's plenty of moms out there. Hello and hi to all you hussies and hefties. Welcome to Manswers, the toxic podcast for a better tomorrow, brought to you by two toxic machismos and one person, we promise, who actually gives a shit. And who are we individually? Well, allow me to introduce you. She's overly sensitive and often wrong when it comes to most issues, but we're certain it's not because she's a woman. Her name is Miss CTG. How are ya?
Yeah.
Every time.
Even though he won't wish him R.I.P., he's more Kevin Samuels than Kevin Spacey, but that still doesn't make it
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
He is. I put in work on
That's
that.
the two choices.
Brilliant.
I am strong. I am a warrior. And after 22 years of paternity tests, I am still not the father. My name is B. Todd because there can be no other. And we are Manswers because when it comes to your problems in love and life, there's a perfect mansplanation for that.
Oh my God.
How you
That's
doing,
fucking
everybody?
That's nuts.
Happy to be back in this
That's
meeting, per
nuts.
usual.
He's more Kevin Samuels than Kevin Spacey. It's
still got his
fucking
stuff
nuts.
on that.
That's out of control. I think
You
we
know,
need to talk about that.
I've now watched my first movie since Kevin Spacey was like canceled. Yeah. Because I have this thing where sometimes I just can't watch certain things. And if like you're a creep, Spacey's a creep, and I just can't watch. I still haven't watched Baby Driver, which I hear is incredible, but because his creepy ass is all over that poster, I can't. But
what was he doing again? He was like
Predator men.
He's a creep, and he forced himself onto some younger gentleman. But then when the younger gentleman came forward and said, "Hey, Kevin Spacey molested me," he's like, "This is the perfect time for me to apologize to you and tell the world I'm gay." Yeah. And so he used it as a coming out, which was a
yikes
bogus move. Yeah, a bogus
move.
Super
shitted on the whole LGBTQ community because they were like, "Nigga, we like niggas. We not out here touching boys. What the fuck is you talking about?"
He's a creep. And you know what? I have actor friends who have stories like that with him, like just waking up to having Kevin Spacey being taken off of them by his bodyguard or his security team. Whatever. Yeah,
not waking up. What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He is a creep, and well, he deserves to be.
I don't know what I'd do if I had to wake up and there's a dude on top of me.
Yikes, bro.
I don't think it'd be pretty.
Wow. Anyways, how you guys doing? How's your week?
What day is it?
Good. I just came back on vacation.
Where'd you go?
I was in Cali.
You were?
Cali?
Yeah.
I didn't see it on the gram, so there were no pics, so it didn't really happen.
Nah, I'm learning. I'm learning to keep my.
Don't listen to me.
I'm learning to keep my personal life off of Instagram.
Interesting.
For better or worse, it's just.
It feels like it was barely on there to begin with, so that I don't know.
Well, I tried to. I used for like my posts. They're always my business stuff, but my stories, because they only last a day, I would usually put like personal things up there. But I'm trying not to do that at all. It seems like such a waste of any of my energy. You know, for the business side of it, I enjoy what I do. So like I'll post my pictures up there still. Now I haven't even done a photo shoot in months. But from a personal side,
that's because you still owe me and B Todd two, I guess. Separate.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we needed to bring that up just now.
Accountability.
That's how
I don't think that was
works,
necessary to. I don't think that was necessary to the story. Honestly,
sometimes that's how karma works.
could have done without that. See how y'all niggas are.
How was Callio? What part were you in?
Culver City, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss
Did you
LA
run?
so much.
Are you still keeping up with your running?
Did you do the steps?
I was not running. I didn't bring any running clothing, but I did just order some more 5-inch seam shorts, and I am dedicated to.
5-inch heels.
Dedicated to my full run.
It's
I'm
the fact
dedicated
that
to
you
the
have
run.
to tell us the measurement with 5-inch.
Oh, you know what? I fucking love them. I love them. Like at first, I was like super like. Every time I saw somebody running in the streets like with the little ass shorts, I was like, "What you motherfuckers doing?" And then I put some on, and I
They're
ran with them, and I was
aerodynamic.
like, "This shit here gives you everything you need to feel great about what you're doing right now." The whoosh that blows past your testicles,
Here goes
elite.
Oh my god!
What's that?
Short boy
That's the
front.
whoosh, whoosh.
Yo,
The short shorts, the hoochies.
Yeah,
I'm a
cuts
big
down
fan
on
of the
the
hoochies.
drag. And they're nice. They're great for working out. I really underestimated what a nice pair of short shorts do for your workout.
who wears short shorts?
Yeah, I feel like
High
I
and
look
tight.
better in short shorts. All I need to do now is get these leg implants and it'll be over.
So, B Todd, how was your weekend?
Fantastic. Got new headshots coming.
Hey.
Very excited. That's the whole reason I was growing out my hair and everything, and decided not to really trim my beard at all for these, but trying to give myself more of that urban lumberjack.
Urban
What?
lumberjack.
Dad, more blue collar, like I don't see a lot of actors who are bald with the beard. So I had a little bit of hair just to show what it would look like with my hairline if I do grow it out. And then I trimmed that down to what I am now, and something like a
Do you feel good about it?
lumberjack and a hipster, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to give something other than cop, guard, security guard,
Security cop.
security guard.
Do you screenwrite, B Todd? Have you considered like writing
Of
some roles for yourself? Oh well, yeah, you wrote
Black and Blue,
what was it called?
Dodgy, Work in Progress, coming soon, written
Diddy.
and starring B. Todd Johnston. It's my claim to fame. It's how we got this podcast deal.
Oh, we have a deal?
No. Goblets.
No. I'm worldwide like candy.
Yo, what's the difference between a regular portrait and a headshot?
So a headshot is going to be really close on your head, right? I mean, and that's essentially it's your close up and it's your personality in a shot. So a casting director needs to look at your headshot and be like, I can see this person playing that role. So in my case, my active headshot is me, of course, bald, but I have more of a 5 o'clock shadow than a beard, and it's very serious. It's very, very serious. And the one thing that I would say I am more so known with my day-to-day people is more comedy than drama. So I'm trying to showcase some looks that A, show a lighter, funnier side of me, and B, one that's not going to place me so much in the authority type cops and guards and stuff. Not that I'm not willing to play those, that has been my bread and butter, but I'm trying to expand now, and I'm getting my website updated, and I'm making some major moves here. I've got my mantra.
That's great.
I like it.
I feel like my headshot would always say thug number 2.
Yeah.
Close up.
I've seen you when you
number
clean
4.
up a little bit, You
but I usually smile in the same way that I frown. That don't really change. You see
so,
it?
anyways, what are we talking about today, y'all?
Well, you just did. What have you been up to, Miss CTG? I don't think you updated us.
I just be working. I did go to a little show at this weekend. There was like a Love Jones versus Brown Sugar at an establishment in Atlanta. It was cute. It was they had like musicians and poets. It was a cute little time. And other than that, I just be working.
Work.
That's it.
Do you
working and
listen to
working.
Beyonce when you work?
Actually, today I had Renaissance on repeat. No lie. I can't. I mean,
She's telling
I
women
have
to quit their
comfortable in my
jobs.
skin, cozy with who I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Cozy, cozy.
Speaking of Beyonce, here's a quick question: is R&B dead?
no,
No, please. I hope not.
no, it's not.
Old
Are
school
you sure?
R&B needs to
I
make a
am
comeback,
sure. I am
but the
absolutely
genre will
sure.
never die because people love it. People
It's
love
not.
it.
I love R&B on a different level than any of the music. I listen to R&B when I lift weights. I'll listen to slow jams. It does not matter. I love R&B, and I don't even think it's just speaking for myself. There's just the platform for the R&B artist isn't nearly there. You have to search for that music. So if you enjoy
Mhm.
that music and you're willing to go find it, you will find it. Like
Yeah.
I have had Giveon's Give or Take album on repeat every day.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Every day. Now, if you look, listen, we're not sponsored.
Mhm.
Giveon is not sponsoring us. But if you're looking for some toxic, like super toxic level of songs, I'm talking about confessions level, maybe higher, you need to listen to that Giveon album.
Okay.
That nigga, he's going through some things.
Where is this question coming from?
I
Is
was
R&B
just about
dead?
to ask you
Is
that.
it
Yeah,
Diddy?
why do
Diddy
you ask
doing
that?
that dumb shit?
Diddy.
That's
So
yeah.
Usher,
Diddy said that?
recently, Usher got on. He ain't really get on Diddy, but he was like, he said that he's nuts for saying that R&B is dead. Like he's like when Diddy and what's the little one's name?
Nate?
Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri.
Oh.
They were like going back and forth and shit. Sorry.
Jacquees played it.
They were going like back and forth and shit. And
Jacquees.
Diddy said that it was dead, and Usher was like, "You nuts? Boy, what are you talking about?" And it is fucked up because it's a genre that everybody loves, but we'll sacrifice it in the name of popularity. You know that drill
Never.
shit is
Oh, the
popular. Like,
artist. Are you talking about the
oh,
artist will sacrifice?
I don't even think the artists. I think the people in charge of getting the artistry out there, because the artists don't
Yeah,
always
yeah,
have
yeah.
control of being able to get their
Is
things
there
out there.
is there
Fair.
anybody out there really like pouring their fucking heart out to get that
Tank,
one back on a record though? Like,
Tank.
is
Get
this more of introspective where music is right now,
say
or it's
thank
like
you.
kind of like intimate? You know what I mean? Like I can just keep this on low, like I'm singing to myself. But when I think of R&B, my limited take, okay. But when I think of
Wait,
R&B,
can you start again with your point? Because I don't even
I got it.
understand what you're
I knew it.
saying.
I was
The
following.
pour your heart out versus stay with yourself.
But
What?
he's talking about the classic R&B, where
yeah,
people are writing
Like
true
Drew Hill.
where's
emotion.
R&B
We
now?
were 5 steps. That you talking about
You know
like
what I
that
mean?
type of
Yeah, like
R&B?
I mean, like
Okay.
really, really digging deep to get that one back to let them know how much you love them or how much they
Oh,
affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. They don't do as many love songs
R&B
now.
has
It's
morphed
more
more into
heartbreak
this like
songs.
pop thing, and like
Mm,
I love Black. You know what I mean? Like that is my number one artist. But there's like
6 Lack.
this,
Is that who
yeah,
you talking
Six
about?
Lack.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like
No way.
when Division, you know what I mean? Like there's are certain artists there
I
who
thought it was
are
Davis.
in that R&B space, but I can't really call them R&B. You know what I mean? Like Summer
Mm,
Walker is another one that's thrown out.
I'll
Like
say
who is today's R&B artist that you can say her? I'll give you her.
Lucky Day,
mm-hmm.
Lucky
Mm-hmm.
Day, Jasmine
Mm-hmm.
Sullivan, her,
Jasmine
Mm-hmm.
Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Giveon.
about to open my
Division
Spotify. Hold
is
on. Is it
um,
Division or Davison?
it's Division, but you can
Division.
keep on
That's
saying
why it's
Davidson if you like.
division
Uh,
sign.
Oh,
Point,
maybe I'm.
line, point.
No, that's
you
not
can
what I've seen. I just see the
Divided
DVSN
by.
thing. I just seen
Usher's
DVSN.
still out here doing his thing.
Usher, but when's the last time Usher made a new song though? No, no
Or
shade,
no
no
Tiny Desk.
shade. Just
No,
right. That's. I mean,
he's made
I
new
think
music. It just
Chloe
hasn't hit
Bailey.
like who?
Chloe Bailey can be R&B. She's
Yeah,
more pop at the
Can
moment, but
be.
she
It's can be,
has.
but nobody owns that space outright. Everyone's on like the
that's because they
border of
locked up. That's because
another
they locked up the
genre.
king.
Oh,
It's
Not Kel. Nah, I know you
look,
ain't talking about
look
Kel.
how upset
I
uh,
he
know,
just.
I know
yeah.
you ain't
They
talking
locked
about
up the king.
Kel.
Locked
Bro,
up the king, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ro James. I just pulled up my
Oh,
little
Ro James.
Spotify
Ooh,
Love and Chill. Ro
Ro
Japanese.
James,
James used to be my
Xavier Omar. Um, let's see. I mean, Silk Sonic is trying to do a couple
Nah,
things.
I don't put
Okay,
them in
uh,
what?
R&B.
What?
I
What?
said I don't
Leave
put
the
them in
door
R&B.
open? What you talk? What? Do we need to
That's not.
play
I
it?
don't like
Do we
that
need to
song.
play it? But
I
it's
don't
oh
like that
come on.
song.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not R&B.
This is true, but I don't like
I
that
just want
song.
to. I just okay. I'm just like let's just call a thing a thing. Okay. Who we got?
it is a
Tiana
thing.
Major.
Tank
Uh-huh.
is still putting out
Uh,
music every other week,
I have not
literally.
well, I don't care about no Tank.
What's
Tiana
her
I
name
haven't
just came
Taylor.
heard
out?
anything.
Would you
What's her
say
name
Lettuce?
just
Tiana
came out with
Taylor?
new music? Tink.
No. I mean,
Tink just came out with new
Tiana
music.
Taylor, she's fine, but she sing more about sex than love. So speaking to your particular question, that's what I mean.
Hmm.
You know.
Look,
Um,
Babyface
what
got
do
a
you
new
think about
song out.
Leon Bridges? Leon
Love
Bridges,
Leon
he gives a
Bridges.
little folk. It's a little
Yeah.
folksy, but I mean, it is. I don't know. It's rhythm and it's blues.
Kalani.
Okay. Mm. Yeah.
Kalani. Yeah.
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 LMA.
Ella
Yeah.
May just came out with a whole album.
All right. Do you feel like your question has been answered?
I feel like y'all just listed R&B acts, but I mean, is R&B dead? Like, is it as big as it once was? Is it as major? Like,
But
sure, we
it
did
not
some
being as big
research.
doesn't mean it's
Is it as
dead.
dominant as it once was in the space?
No, it's not
But
as dominant.
dominating and dead are two different things. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's not dominating, but it definitely isn't dead
Listen,
for
I'm just
sure.
posing the question and keeping it in line. I'm giving you the
Like to me,
boundaries and the spectrum.
Dead is like that whole emo movement of like the early 2000s. Like you don't
Which
hear
one?
like fucking My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Simple Plan, Good
Yeah,
Charlotte, when they were all hitting
Paramore.
Yeah.
those
Yeah, yeah,
songs like
yeah.
that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
like you don't
Yeah.
hear that at all anymore. Like in no parts do you hear. They're not even making their music like that anymore. Like fucking
Right.
Panic at the Disco made that one album, and then the next album they sounded like the Beatles.
Not
Ugh,
the Beatles.
gross.
Yeah, like the very next album, they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
enough of this shit. We're gonna sound like the Beatles.
But you know what's funny though is like even though they're not making any new music, I feel like that era, like I still could listen to
Oh,
those
without a
songs
doubt,
from that time.
without a
You know what
doubt.
I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, is it dead though? Like, could they put a
R&B
concert
is not
together
dead. It's
right
just
now
Now
and
that's an
get some
interesting
folks to
context
go? Because then that's
because it will
not
never die
really
because
dead. What
it's
makes it
yeah.
dead?
Yeah. Okay. I
nah.
can
I
see
So
think
that.
dead is just the fact that like you can't find it anywhere. Like you can't find new emo music. You can only go back and find
maybe
new
it's
music that
there. We
existed.
just aren't listening to it. I'm
Nah,
sure
you can
there's
look
some
up.
kid
I'm
on
there.
YouTube right now with his guitar on the screen
I'm not
and
a
Is
perfect
Adele R&B?
exactly.
person. Is Adele
Adele.
R&B? Ooh,
By
that's a
the
great question.
technical definition, I feel like
Ooh,
yes,
yes,
because her
yes.
music
Oh,
is
you guys
rhythmic,
were
it's a little bluesy, it talks
yeah.
about love, all that stuff. So
It's not
Mm.
like to me.
technically,
Pop is not just because of it being popular music, but it is that poppy style. It does have that happiness and that bounce to it. There is
right.
that it'll make you move. Like that Britney, Christina, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys shit was really like it got those people to dance. It got people to dance.
Right.
That's what made it popping. But R&B, it'll R&B is something that like that's a you get you a glass of wine after a long day of work and throw that shit on. You can do that with Adele.
Right.
For sure, for sure,
You
for
can clean up
sure.
the house to Adele.
For sure, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And
I
she
would
and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Her
And
and
Adele
Jasmine
sings her
Sullivan,
heart
that's
out,
who I think
okay?
of. Yeah.
Jasmine Sullivan is
Ugh,
from
untouched.
the greatness of Jasmine Sullivan to me goes with the idea that for the most part, obviously, she being a woman and being attracted to men, she's writing songs from the perspective of a woman attracted to a man. But I will sing the shit out those songs regardless.
I was like, "What are we? What? Where are we going with this?" Got it.
Now
Okay, heard,
because
heard.
you gotta
That was a
I would
very
I
inceptive
don't know
answer. Because
I
she's
don't know
for a
that
I
this
was
woman
like,
is
talking as a
listen
man, but inside
be-
she's a woman who
because we
has the
don't
different perspective
I
as
don't think we
men.
think about it. You don't think about it. But when you're listening to a song, at least from a man's side, because women will just they can say they'll do whatever they want without the idea of having to like bolster their own sexuality. With men, we go, yo, I can't listen to no woman. Like I can't listen to female rappers because they're rapping about like sucking dick sometimes, and I just like I can't do that. I just can't sing those lyrics. and sometimes we cross over to
interesting.
female R&B artists, right? And then you're like, I can't sing that. She's talking about riding her man and shit like that. But Jasmine Sullivan, I'll listen to Hotels any day of the week. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
she's
Lost One.
the way
That's universal.
the way that she writes, it transcends for me the gender barriers that even we have when listening and reciting our music. I can listen to Jasmine Sullivan and appreciate her writing to the extent that I go, I don't give a fuck what she's saying. This is real shit. Pick Up Your Feelings. I'd be like, that's some real shit.
Yeah. I mean, her shit's catchy. There's one, and she sounds really good, and that's part of it, right? But like for me, Jasmine Sullivan is so visual when she writes and she sings. You know what I mean? Like there's something about it that's almost conversational the way that she sings, and it's like it's very
even Girl Like Me, same thing. Conversation. You're hearing it, and you're like, it's almost as if she's telling you, like, if we were sitting down for a date, and I'm like, yo, you know, you haven't been on a date in a while. Well, tell me why you haven't. Girl Like Me is a serious talk into why I don't do the things I used to do anymore. And I'm just like, oh, I understand. Like, I'm hearing you. But I feel that way about Black. Whereas Black may not be considered R&B truly. His penmanship, his ability to write resonates with me as I go, fuck, I understand exactly what this is like. That first album, Free Black, I was like, God damn. I understand, brother. I got you. I hear you.
I love artists like that.
Yeah. That was a good opening question.
I do kind of want to circle back eventually to when Iz said that I can't listen to female rappers because they talk about sucking dick. And in your mind, you are then inside the point of view of the female rapper and you envision yourself sucking someone else's dick instead of you
rapping about it.
The view of your dick being sucked.
No, like you remember that Lil Kim song? That Lil Kim song.
A woman when female rappers are talking about that kind of stuff, I'm just like, wow, they're really excited, and you know what?
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
I was lucky enough to be a participant in that kind of enthusiasm.
When you listen to Lil Kim say, "I used to be scared of the dick, now I throw lips to the shit," like, would you rap that all out along with her?
Well, that's a different. That's a
no.
Out loud.
Would you rap that out loud with her?
You know. The thing is, I hear things and then they come back out sometimes, and you know, that's a dangerous question for me.
Go ahead,
Cardi B.
Try it right now.
I want you to touch that little dangly thing in the back of my throat. I mean, you singing that all out?
I'm not someone who takes myself so seriously that I'm thinking about when I'm rapping something that I have to mean it with 100% of my being, or else it's not truthful.
I noticed he hasn't repeated it though.
He hasn't. Who was it that said, "Go ahead and sit on it"? Who wants to sit on it and spit on it? Whose lyrics were those? You singing that out loud? I'm not. Look, I know who I am, and I'm comfortable with my sexuality. But there are points where I go, that's a little uncomfortable for me to do. That's a little uncomfortable for me to say.
Sure,
I am comfortable, but I don't think I could out loud. And I love singing. I sing out loud, but could I sing? I want to sit on it. Nah, I can't sing that.
I mean, yeah, you kind of did say it into a podcast.
I did, and you know, hundreds of thousands of people hear it.
So, I mean, is it not the same as that? Like now you've been recorded singing. You're the only one on here recorded singing.
In his sexuality and his masculinity.
Excuse me?
I said last week you told us that you are very secure in your sexuality and your masculinity.
Absolutely.
It reminds us we
but
just to make sure that
he can receive the lyrics with no issue.
But like any other person in this world, I have moments of vulnerability where I have to know and understand, even by myself, that this makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And that's okay.
All right.
I still listen.
All right. Fair enough.
I love this question, though. Ooh, you got be Tizzle.
Well, Diddy started it, and I just brought it, and I...
Don't you feel like he got some fucking
the culture vulture that I am brought it to our podcast. I think Diddy's fat right now. I'm going to body shame him. He looks unpresentable in the public eye. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just am tired of seeing Diddy right now, but it's also my fault. Like, because we operate in the same space that he does in Al Gore's internet, you know?
Oh, I was about to say,
They
let me
both.
find out you running Diddy Circle. Okay.
Yeah,
Take
I
that,
see them
take
all the
that,
time on my Instagram. You
take
know,
that,
Oh,
take that.
I don't
we
follow
belong to
Diddy,
the
so
same Instagram.
I
Bad
don't
boy,
follow him,
baby.
so he don't really show up
Yeah,
in my feed.
a lot of people get like motivated by the shit that he says, but now I'm just like, yeah, he
Mm,
also is a psycho. Who's got the first topic today?
mm.
Miss CTG looks primed. Look at those glasses. She's ready to
Shut
dive
up. You know
in.
what's so funny? Like, I almost want to switch my topic up real quick because you just made me think about something with Diddy.
Fine.
Um,
Israel.
I'll go
Gosh.
first.
wait, can I say what
Oh,
it
you
was?
do? Oh, I thought you like needed time to adjust. You're like, teacher, teacher, come
I
back
was
to me.
about to
Okay.
say it
All right.
because I'm just thinking about because I started having this conversation with somebody because a few weeks ago there was a festival here in Atlanta, a conference. It was Invest Fest, right? And they had
Mhm.
it was targeted towards people who want to, increase wealth, blah 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 in their life. And while their lineup, they did have some people who were absolutely like in that space of teaching people financial literacy, wealth building, that sort of thing. They also had those celebrities on there who, have their businesses, who are entrepreneurs now, but were maybe musicians or actors first. And I had the conversation with somebody. I'm like, I don't know that if I went to something like that, that I want to hear from somebody like a Diddy or like a Steve Harvey where they are now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, maybe like one or two of them, but I don't necessarily need to hear a panel of a bunch of folks got who, you know what I'm saying, like, who are doing business now because
Sure.
they have a whole bunch of money. Like, they made their money from their skills, their gifts, their talents, like comedy, acting, music, whatever. If they wanna talk about that story, like, I'd love to hear that. I don't know that I'd necessarily wanna hear from them about building a business when they built a business from a different position than somebody like me is in right
Mm.
now. I don't have a team behind me. I don't have millions of dollars that I can just invest and buy all the top shit. Like, I would be building from scratch. And they were like, "Well, I don't know, da 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 da." And so I just feel like, what are y'all's thoughts? And this might just be a short question. I still may go the other one, but what are your thoughts on that perspective? Do you, yes, do you
Uh,
agree or disagree?
so I think I agree, but I would also have an opportunity for learning more from those people. I mean, everybody
Hmm.
does,
Of
but I
course.
do agree with like going like, when you look at their success stories, it's built, especially for people in the music industry, it's built different. It's not like
Hmm.
Diddy just said, "Yo, I own Bad Boy" and just started out like that. His
Hmm.
rise came from going through music videos, which he was a backup dancer, then becoming an A&R and finding out finding talent, and then learning from there how to get in. He didn't know immediately how to make these deals. He didn't know all those things. Is he going
Hmm.
to discuss that? Because if he's not, then what am I
Right.
listening for?
Right. 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 Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to get into that industry, I would like to know, how did you start to understand, what a good deal was. Did you ever, like, do you just hire lawyers to read your contracts? Do you happen to read your contracts? And like,
Hmm.
those are things that I would want to know that
Right.
he may not be willing to talk about. And for a lot of us that are trying to build things about, that are trying to build ourselves up, I think is always that part. It's what
Hmm.
are others willing to share to help us out with. Because when we're all at the bottom, I think we do a very good job of supporting and helping each other out from the bottom. But once we start getting that step up, that's when everybody start to do for themselves. They get real selfish with the shit once it starts to happen there, because everybody has their own shine that they're thinking about.
Is it
Like,
Hmm.
selfish or is it protective?
Hmm.
it's selfish.
Hmm.
Because
So look, so for me, if I go like this, when I look at our podcast and I go, I know what we're gonna be. I know what we
Hmm.
have the opportunity to be and what we're gonna be. I don't mind sharing people with the platforms that we use to record, that make it easier for us to have. We're in two different states right now, doing this at the same time in technically two different time zones. We're doing all this at one time over there, and you're an hour behind me, right? Yeah,
No,
we are the same
absolutely
time
not.
zone
my bad.
Absolutely
I
not.
thought y'all was 1 hour
on
behind.
the coast together.
Absolutely not. East Coast.
My bad. Either way, don't fucking make faces. But when I look at that and people
Geography
ask,
lesson on the next episode of Manswers. Continue.
when people ask
The
though, they
more you
say,
know.
they go, "Yo, you got a podcast?" Yeah, I got a podcast. This is what we talk about. This is, oh, where? How do you do it? I don't. I'm not shying away from telling them,
Right.
Mhm.
even though this makes
Share the
it
wealth.
very easy for other people. It's just, bro. This is it's competition. It's a world. We're gonna work. Focus on me. I don't have to protect. That's not a secret that I need to protect. I'm not shying away from that. I'm being selfish if I'm not telling you, and it does nothing for me. I'm not stopping you. Your role, your where you are and what you're gonna talk about is not. If somebody took the exact same things that we talk about here and say, "Yo, we're gonna make a toxic podcast for a better tomorrow," I'd be like, "Y'all niggas
Two
wild."
guys, one girl.
Yeah, two guys, one girls. This is what we're gonna talk about. I would welcome it because I hope y'all understand. We finna fucking body y'all. Every time we look at these numbers, we finna fucking body y'all. Y'all will never see the light of day. You're talking about y'all gonna be us. So in that instance,
true.
I think it's selfish. And people
but I
get
think
really
providing knowledge is one thing. Providing opportunity, I think, is a different one, and that seems to be where there's friction between like so and so should do more for me or more for the artist in my
I don't think
position or
anyone
more
should
for
be
the people in my
provided
position.
opportunity. You gotta take yours and make yours. Make your opportunity.
Okay.
We
I'm gonna
come up
pose
here.
this scenario.
We came up here with zero and said,
Right.
"Yo, this is what we're gonna talk about."
Mm-hmm.
We got together and we got before Manswers even started. We got together and did a conference call and we talked about what it was that we were trying to get out of this. And we talked about it maybe three or four times before we even had our first episode, just to finalize what our thoughts about what this was going to be. We
Right.
created the space for us. We understood what was missing out of the entirety of all the millions of podcasts that exist. What we bring to the table with our own unique personalities, how we can make this work, who's doing what, how do we bring these together, and then we created that space. We created this opportunity for us to get ready to succeed the way we're going to succeed. If somebody would have just handed it to us, it may not have worked like that. The dynamic of what we do may not have worked in the way that is working now.
Right.
We got people from all over the world listening to us, and motherfucking, I don't even think half of them speak English.
Shout out
But,
to Medellin. Medellin is one of our top 5
Medellin?
cities that listens to us
Medellin.
across the world.
Okay.
Colombia.
Okay.
That's in Colombia.
Medellin.
Yeah.
Ya tú sabes, mira, Colombia. Escúchame.
Oh, listen, Ace, I be forgetting you can speak Espanol. I love
Claro que
it.
sí.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Jeez. Espagnol. That hurt when she pronounced the G there.
Well, because in French, I believe that's how it is spelled. with
Oh,
a
je
G.
m'appelle Israel.
Yeah, je parle français un peu.
All right. We're the multilingual podcast now, apparently.
All right. Well, thanks for indulging my question. I feel like that was quickie part 2. I'm happy to pass the mic and circle back to my actual
Hey,
question
Bita, do you have a
later.
thought
But
process?
I thought he answered.
I was just poking at Israel's answers.
Oh, my bad. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
No, it's cool. I mean, when it comes to like these fairs or whatever, like
Conference.
I don't want to call them fairs, but you know, I'm like at Best Fest or if it's a group of a panel of people, you know, like what do you want to call it? Like, I think knowledge is priceless. Wherever you can get it, go to it. If that means going to a workshop or a convention and there are people that you want to hear from because they inspire you, and I find that to be a worthwhile investment. Do I have expectations of anything to come from that? No, my expectations are I'm going to receive and be open to growing so I can learn from this. Could I get the same thing from a TED Talk or from YouTube? Sure. But if it doesn't motivate you, you know, don't pursue it. But if there are people and opportunity there, I think that's probably one thing that I look at overall is like, okay, am I going to learn from this person? Yes. Is there going to be opportunity to like connect with them or just have 5 seconds to get on their shoulder or meet somebody in that audience who is a connection or a step above? Yes, that's typically what I frame what's worthwhile out of it to me. But yeah, I mean, I also come from the perspective of an actor in Atlanta where everybody's trying to get their money from you and promise you that they'll give you the next opportunity. Like, I forgot when I moved back here how they advertise for actors on the radio to come to these huge convention halls and you could have a line in a Tyler Perry series. And then
What?
next thing you know, it's 150, aspiring actors or people who just want that time and opportunity, but it's a sham. So I'm used to people also being in position where they can take advantage of people and not really give you much back in exchange for that pay. So I do like to, issue concerns or just warnings and tell people, invest where you think it's safe. Again, if you're going to learn something, there is no price on that. So if you really feel like you're going to learn from it, go for it. If there's opportunity to get around the people who inspire you, that is worthwhile completely to me. But keep your head on a swivel and just don't get taken advantage of, because there are a lot of people out here who like to take advantage of young, inspiring, novice people in search of knowledge.
Mm. Yeah, and that's I think what for that event I was thinking a lot about is that people in those positions, they've succeeded, they're not even as hands-on with their business as much anymore. The type of information that they're giving is not the type of information that people can take and actually apply and make something happen tomorrow. They're getting inspired, they're getting
Right.
motivated. You can figure this out. You can pay more money to join my program that'll teach you inside of the program. Maybe
Right.
you'll actually get the action steps. And so that's where I get a little bit like, nah, I need to hear from somebody who's a few steps closer to me than you are, because the reality
Yeah.
is once you're on step 20, step 1 through 5 is not as top of mind for you. So you can't really speak to step 1 through 5 as much as you could have when you were at step 10 than you can at step 20. And it's like it's no
Right.
shade. It's not me saying, "Oh, I know it all." But that's definitely not what I was trying to say. Like I'm not open to learning from anybody or they don't have anything valuable, but just as somebody who also teaches and creates courses, I know that there are things now that I don't remember as clearly from when I first started 6, 7 years ago that I do for the things that I'm doing today, right? So it's easier for me
Right.
to teach a few steps behind where I am right now with more thoroughness, with more accuracy, with more clarity than I could if I was already 30 steps beyond where I am today. I got a little
Yeah.
hasty my statement, but that was my point. That's my point. So
Gotcha.
But anyways, that's it. That was it. Thank you for indulging my Diddy inspired combo. I'm passing the
Do
mic.
diddy dum diddy diddy dum. What's up,
I'm
is?
passing the mic to somebody with blonde dreads.
So my
That ain't
topic
me.
is the Flued Out Chronicles. The Flued Out Chronicles, chapter 47
Boy,
million.
boy, boy, boy.
Recently, maybe last 2 weeks, there was a video posted online that this young man was driving this young lady to the back to the airport, and she was frustrated and flustered at the idea that this man was dropping her back off because, in her own words, because you ain't get no coochie. And
Mm.
he said, yeah. he said, he said, yes, absolutely. You ain't give me no pussy. You can't stay here. You gotta go. And
Hmm.
and he drove her up to the departures. He popped that trunk. He said, "You can get your own bags." He made her grab her own bags, and he's talking to the others, to the security guards, and something like, "She ain't give me no pussy. She can't stay here." And she like, "You really gonna do that? You ain't get no coochie?" It was a lot of back and forth about the no coochie stuff. It was hilarious
It's the reenactment for me, but okay.
because it
Yeah.
was hilarious. But so I kind of want to play devil's advocate because I feel like we've talked about this before,
Ooh, devil's advocate.
and I think that it's
Mm.
time to start
Mm.
victim blaming. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that anything wrong should happen to anybody. But for the
Mm-hmm,
people that find
mm-hmm.
themselves in this situation, I think it's about time we start to understand that it's your fault.
Mm.
It's especially because it's usually a one sided thing, and it's usually women, right? Now, I can't tell y'all what to do, but I would like to make some suggestions. And those
Dun, dun,
suggestions:
dun, dun.
stop letting niggas you don't know and you have no interest in being around and fucking around with fly you out to anywhere where you have to rely completely on them
Big fact.
financially.
Big
Mm.
fact.
Stop letting niggas say, yo, I'm gonna fly you out. Everybody likes a vacation. And a free one on top of that, wowee. Super.
Not wowee.
But I think you should book your own room. let that man pay for the hotel. I mean pay for the airline and you pick your own room. especially if you have. And the fucked up thing is that no one should ever be forced into a situation where they feel like they have to have sex anywhere against their will. We absolutely understand that.
For sure.
But you're getting into the situation knowing that that's what these niggas want. You know that like that like I don't feel like we should pretend anymore like that's not what's on the agenda. At any point should we ever be going, "Oh, you wanted to have sex? You come on. We plotted this around when you were off your period." don't even do that. So again, I don't want to victim blame, but I feel like we got to do smarter. Like she legit was like, once he canceled her flight, she's like, I have no way to go home, and that to me is bananas. You cannot put yourself in any situation. I mean, even if you're going on a date, this is the first date, this shit may not go right. If you need to make sure you got cab fare to go home. You never know. I don't understand why we live in this world like we're brand new at this shit. Motherfuckers like 40 years old getting caught up in getting flown out and then not having no way back because they ain't give up no pussy. Or they give up the pussy, it wasn't that good, motherfucker don't want to fuck with them no more, and now they upset, stuck in Miami. Now, that was my perspective, but I'd like to hear from you all how you feel about it.
You know, look, everything is, you're playing the lottery, right? And sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're not. Because he flew her out, is he entitled to anything? No, he sure is not. He's not guaranteed the internals of her wondrous, beautiful body. But I guarantee they were talking about sex in the DMs before that whole thing was going down. So I know that the conversation of sex was broached. Like, I know it. Now it probably went something like this. He's like, oh yeah, you're going to let me put it fucking deep in. I'm going to be fucking you on the balcony. And she said something like, we'll see. LOL. Oh, you nasty. Something along those lines. And she drew it out because in her mind, she probably was stringing along. She's not really sure if she does want to. But he was ready to fly her out so he could get busted down. And she was like, I haven't been to Miami in some while. So if this ticket presents itself to me, I'm taking it. Have I promised him sex? No. Is he dumb enough to do it without me giving sex? Yes. Did she think he was going to retaliate? No, because a lot of men won't. They'll just sit there and sulk and they'll be like, you didn't give me, I flew out, or they'll be pissed off or whatever you want to take it.
That's me.
Like, do I think
switch like this bitch?
Do I think they both deserve to be where they're at? Yeah, like, fine, drop her off. Like, I'm sure she has plenty of other guys in the roster, and she was busy in those DMs trying to get another flight back out because she doesn't just rely on one. You know what I mean? Because, like, listen, we are both men and women. We both play this game. Stop the bullshit. Stop the men versus women would never. No, both of these fucking people are fucking single, and they're playing the game. And this one was a shitty out for both of them. Okay, she's got to find a way to get out of Miami, and he's got to find a new nut to bust. Like, but like, that's the game, yo. I don't feel bad for either one of y'all. I'm glad there was no assault. There was nothing malicious. He didn't force himself on her. He dropped her back off at the airport. If he wants to be, an individual and take it above, if he's already got the round trip flight, then fucking that's great that he gave her a ride. Didn't even make her get her own Uber to the airport. But neither one of y'all were having a good time.
So Uber, y'all are disgusting me right now.
Whatever. You're not invited to
my wedding. What?
Listen, no.
Let me go. I'll let y'all get your little shit off, okay? Because first of all, this really ties back into what my original topic was, which is men not really liking women. Because the fact of the matter is, y'all act like the only thing a woman is good for is her pussy, and that's bullshit, okay?
Because I love women.
If she was a good time, if she's fun to be around, right? Like, you're telling me that the only thing that makes my presence in your space worthwhile is whether or not you get to put your penis in my vagina, not because you get to be in my company, in my presence, spend time with me, hang out with me, none of that shit. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter that I got on a plane and came and hung out with you over there, wherever the fuck you live, whether it's in Miami or Cleveland or somewhere. None of that shit matters. It just matters whether or not you got to hit. Are you out of your fucking mind? Go buy you a fucking masturbation toy and get the fuck off my phone. What are we talking about?
But you can't take.
Y'all are on bullshit. Y'all are
You
on
can't personalize
bullshit.
that because
Y'all are on bullshit. Y'all are on bullshit. You're not gonna change my mind.
You have substance and value
Go
in
get
what
you
you're
a
got her
doing.
microphone working
masturbation toy.
now.
Get your little
Hold on.
nut off and act. And
You have
don't
substance and
talk to me.
substance and value. You do, and you bring more to the table than just pussy and mouth.
Absolutely.
You do.
Yeah.
But you cannot clearly say that for a lot of these new women these days. You can't say that for them.
What?
And so your entire
Yeah.
argument falls apart then, because you know that you can't say that for everybody. Just the same way we can't say for every single dude that they should behave in the way that we would behave. I would never put anybody in a situation that would ever feel that way. But at the same time, I've been around girls. I'm just like, how could anybody fuck with you? Like, I can't even listen. Like, dude, you have nothing. You talk about nothing. You talk about get your nails done and nothing. You really talk about you are about nothing. You have nothing in you that talks about what you want to do for your future, how you want to create in a realm of just building yourself or anything around you. But I'm supposed to find a way to go, let me treat her like a lady.
Why are you talking to her in the first place? I want
Oh
y'all
no!
to just
Now it's our fault.
yourselves
So
about
because
what the
we
fuck
want
you fucking with. That's how you feel.
pussy.
Why are you spending your money on that?
Because we want pussy.
Because
see, that's the
there
thing.
are women who
Y'all
will
don't
do it for the
women.
same or less. That's it. Because there are women who will do the same for that or less.
So why are you flying
There are
them
women you
out?
can fuck
Get
on the
one who will
block.
do
You
it
don't
for
even have to
less.
spend the airfare. I don't need a fucking palm tree to bend you over. I don't. I don't even need to take you on a date to get it. I don't.
So why
I'm
are
B-Type,
you
baby. I don't fucking need all that bullshit.
So why are you
Now,
bitching about it? If you do, you better take your fucking L and keep it pushing.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Don't be an asshole.
Again, stop making this man versus woman type shit and just understand this is the fucking game.
Yeah.
This is what single people do to one another. Either you're ahead of the game or you're playing behind. And sometimes y'all both just don't match up. But
yikes.
Who the fuck are you to say that I have to fly you out just to enjoy your presence?
I didn't
because
say you have
what
to
of
do
the
shit,
table?
but if you make a
What
choice
of the
on
table
your
are you
shit,
bringing with
on
you
your
to
shit.
this extravagant vacation?
Nah, we're not talking about tables and shit now. Wow.
No, because there is an assumption that women don't have to do anything to please somebody, that their presence is enough. You know who else says that shit and pisses me off? Kanye. It's the same mentality. There is an egotistical level of
egotistical
just,
is outrageous.
Is hilarious. Please, one of our fans, animate an Egotestical if you could. But I'm just like, I don't think that. Sure, you don't owe me anything if I fly you out. Sure.
Correct.
I don't owe you anything either.
The choice to do it.
Fine.
How you
I don't
gonna
owe
be
you anything
mad?
either. I don't owe you dinner. If you want to stay in my hotel room, you can, but I don't owe you anything either. I got you out here, so you go ahead and vacation. That's what you wanted anyway. Now you definitely can't vacation with me because you're gonna be stressing me the fuck out. So like, I don't need to be around you. So we don't owe each other anything. So bye.
That's fair. You spent your money, but also I feel like you need to do some reevaluation of yourself. If the only reason you spending money on women is for pussy, like then go get you a fucking prostitute. So that way the transaction is for sure. But you can't treat relationships and people who are not listed on Backpage as if they're transactional. Like you're not gonna convince me otherwise. Even if she dingy ain't got shit to say, you made the choice. So be a fucking stand-up person with character and morals and actually treat her as a person. Like I think it is so disgusting how they try to put these women on after filming her to try to humiliate her in front of the world because he posted it on the internet and in front of the people of the thing. Like that shit is disgusting. Like, and I saw another one where the nigga was in the fucking hotel room and he's like, "Oh, y'all see this? Da 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 da. She ain't do blah blah blah." And it's just like, are you out of your mind?
Let me just pose this question though.
It's disgusting. Because imagine if women pick up their phone every time a nigga come with a soft dick or come with five pumps and a nut and be like, "Look at this joker." Y'all would feel like fucking bullshit then, okay?
Y'all do that to us anyway, so I don't care. Because y'all burn our clothes, you throw bleach on our shit, you bash up our windows.
Destruction of property versus calling a nigga out based on some sex and some bullshit. Two
Let me
different
tell you
things.
something.
Oh, look at
Let me
this
tell you
little
something.
limp ass dick
Tell
nigga
us.
who couldn't get
I
it
wish
hard. Look
I
at
wish
this
a
nigga who
motherfucker
don't know how
would
to
do that
use
because
his
I'm just
tongue
gonna
and
go.
can't make a woman nut. Look at this nigga who don't know how to fucking
Hey,
stroke or put no
hey,
motion in the
This
ocean.
is the
Oh,
real
okay,
hey,
stop
answers we
putting your
wanted.
asses on
hey.
blast. Then what you
It
gonna
is what it
say?
is. Hey, it is what it is. I got
I'm
mine.
complete.
I got
I'm
mine.
complete because y'all are
I
just,
got
and that's
mine.
exactly what that bitch should say on the bed. Like, well, I'm here, bitch. You brought me
No,
over
she
Let
can't
me
say
here.
that.
let
She
me
can't
ask
say
you
that
this.
because she can't say
Let
that
I'm
me
because
not
ask
the
you
one
this.
who
because
got
I
flew back out to
she can't
put
say
your
that
name back
because I
together.
went
But
downstairs and I closed down the room. So now she can't lay on nobody's bed till
and
she
let me
got
tell you what.
because she ain't got no
Let
height.
me
She ain't
tell
got
a
shit.
lady something else. Women, if you gonna
Go
let a
ahead.
nigga fly you out, tell him to drop the money in your account. You buy the ticket, put it in your name. You get
No,
the
because then
hotel
they're just
room,
not
put it in
showing
your
up.
name. No, this is what I'm saying. Because if you fucking with a nigga who is so bogus that he will leave you stranded, one, he didn't deserve to get in your cookies. No way. And two, you being a goofy. You get the money and you put it in your own name so you aren't left stranded. How about that?
I
Since
mean,
we want to put people on
neither one
game
of these
today.
people were really into each other. Can we just be honest? They weren't.
I don't know. Clearly, because
Because
that man does not like women.
if he doesn't like her, she doesn't like him. That much is fair. Because if she did, things would have gone very
Maybe she
differently on that.
liked him and she got in front of him and that nigga was bogus because that shit happens. Y'all talk a big game on the internet,
This
on
is
the
true.
phone, then you get a person be
Well, maybe it
bogus.
was the other way
Fuck.
around.
She
Maybe he liked her
all
and
the
she
right.
showed up and she was bogus.
Well, that's not true because his ass was still trying to fuck and got
Yeah,
upset that
we
he
don't know
couldn't.
what fell out the Spanx
Hey
that
man,
night once she unwrapped.
first of all,
If
that
he
it
didn't
still can be
like
true.
her, then he
Me
wouldn't have
trying to
been
fuck,
putting her
me
on the
trying to
internet
fuck
talking
ain't
about
got
why
none.
you ain't fuck me.
This is another place where unfortunately women get caught up in this idea of like of emotion and sex. I don't have to like you to fuck you.
I
But you also
That
don't.
wouldn't
is
be
never.
upset.
I
But if
don't.
you
No,
didn't like
I
but
me
don't
and
even
I
have to
wasn't gonna
care
fuck you, you
about you
wouldn't be
that
upset.
much as a
Oh
person. Like we
no!
don't hate fucking
You get
is
it twisted. I don't have to. I don't even have to be attracted to you to have sex with you.
Oh, I'm
right.
clear that most of y'all niggas don't like women. That was the topic of my choice
No. I
today.
didn't say I didn't like
Now
women.
we're
I
not
didn't say
saying
I
that.
didn't say I didn't care for women.
Now, I'm
See,
gonna go ahead
that's
and
the
stand
thing.
on what I
That's the
said.
problem. The
I didn't
problem
say
is
you, just like you said, oh, I'm not talking to you specifically, Miss CTG. I'm not talking to you, is I'm
Mm,
talking to these
well, look,
mm.
joker ass jokers
it's
out here.
no, but
We hate our own
that's
medicine.
a lot of the places, a lot of times where we as a whole, as a people get it twisted is when we start to assume or make assumptions that there has to be any emotion connected to the fact of having sex. Like I don't have to like you, you ain't gotta like me.
I feel so bad for anybody who's out here having sex like that. But anyway,
Just
continue.
why? I've literally
Me
had
too.
Because you're
tons.
missing out on so much more.
That's your personal belief.
That's
I
true.
think
I mean,
That does not
it's
mean
I don't think
is not the same
emotional
it's
for everybody.
bonding
facts.
is as
It's not
attractive
the
to
same for
everybody.
everybody. It's not the same for everybody.
And just because you want it that badly, and
Oh,
there's nothing wrong with
oh,
that. No, not you. We're still in this general space, okay? Just because
okay.
I'll rephrase, just because a person wants it so badly
Mm-hmm.
does not mean that whoever comes into your space is guaranteed to match you on that frequency. And you
Absolutely
have to
not.
guard yourself for that. And like as far as the situation goes, like was there anything at all with her if she did? I'm not assuming that she did not. But was there anything wrong in this scenario where if she says, "Yes, I'm flying down there, but just so you know ahead of time, I'm not giving you any. So if that's what this is about, you've got the wrong one." Something along
Mm-hmm.
those lines. If there was a line drawn ahead of time, cool. But it's also partly true that she could have gone along and withheld it and reserved it until she was, and I mean it's her own right, it's her own body. So if she
Or
changed her mind and then she withheld that, okay, then I would not expect everything. I'm not going to expect every man to be a gentleman. I would really, really, really be careful with who you are agreeing to go out and fly to a remote part of the earth with. I'll say that
mm-hmm.
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 because
Any
I
part of
am
the
not
earth. It don't
victim
gotta be
blaming here.
remote.
I'm
Shit.
not. I'm advocating for women taking care of themselves and do not give your energy or your time to people who are not valuable of being in both.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't feel bad for them, but
But
it's
also
funny. I
just
also think he's in the wrong for reporting.
an additional devil's advocate to your point. What if she said no, he was in agreement with the, oh, we not, and then he convinced himself that when he got there he was going to be able to convince her otherwise,
Word.
because
It could
because
be that
men
they
are
both
goofy like that too.
mutually
They both be
agreed
like, no,
to
it's not
go to the
about da da da
airport.
da, and then And then she got there. He was like, "Yeah, yeah. So you sure you don't want to? Come on, we just let me put the tip in.
I mean, that's the case, but like, why are we sharing? Why are we sharing a room and putting ourselves in that position? Then why are you staying in my
Again,
Maybe
place?
they weren't sharing a room. Maybe he got her a room
This is
and then
true.
was
This
like,
is
"Oh,
true.
I'm staying there,"
Yeah,
because men will flip the script
that's
real quick when they trying to get their dick wet.
mm,
Okay, so
that's
it could
some
really have
men,
been some like, well, we could get two separate rooms, and then she gets there and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I only got one because I figure it was a vibe.
bro. That's why I
I'm
said
gonna
in the beginning that women
Get your own room, sis."
specifically, yeah, need to be getting your own room. You need to be bringing your own money to secure your way back home. You need to have something. Like there should
right.
be no
Mhm.
reason. And to be perfectly honest, if you're flying within the continental U.S., these flights one way are like $200. If you ain't
Hey,
got
let
two
me tell
hundred
you what,
dollars,
I'm getting on a bus. I don't give a
Stand
fuck. Like
by.
if I
yeah.
don't got
If
like,
you
Imma
ain't got
figure out a
I
way to
got a
get
credit
up out of
card
here
just in
that place.
case with
yeah, if you
miles
don't
on it,
have
just in
200
Something.
case.
beans to
Yeah.
get yourself home, you're tripping. You
Right.
a monkey
You should
balls.
not be on the flight
Yeah,
going out.
Right. I,
And
I
that's not
think we can all agree you
judgmental.
should not. I
That's
mean, like,
safety. That's
dating
safety.
with intention, if you're dating with intention out here right now, these conversations come up. If you want to take a trip like that, those conversations come up when you're dating with intention. If you're not and you're just like secretly avoiding subjects because you don't want to hear no or something like that, and then shit goes awry, that's just poor adulthood on both of your parts, I guess. I don't know. This was a great topic though.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, so what you got, B-Talk? Because
Well,
I could segue into my other topic, but I don't wanna
you already have.
monopolize the
No
space.
one would argue.
Well, no, because it would
You
just be an
already have.
add-on. I have.
Yeah.
Because in the interest of continuing this dialogue about men not liking women, I
Mm.
posted 2 things in the notes, 2 Instagram
Hmm.
posts. The first one I believe was, and this is just the question was, my topic was, beta males part 2. Some of y'all really hate women on the low. Prove me wrong. Like, that meme where the guy's sitting with the coffee and he has the sign and it's like some statement and it's just like prove me wrong. That's how I feel
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
The
You are
first
really
one,
coming for those.
mm.
Neither Israel nor myself are beta males, but we will do our best to put ourselves inside of the mind of a beta male to give you the best accountable answer.
I mean, neither of y'all are fuckboys who would fly a woman out and put her on blast, but you seem to really be able to stand on an argument there. So I think you'll be okay.
Let me
You're
tell you,
welcome. So
future Mrs.
the
Johnson
Well,
got a
city.
ring because of things outside of the bedroom. Okay.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that for a
I just
second.
can't.
It's got
I don't.
class,
I can't
a
give it
whole
the
lot of it.
notion of like hating women. You know what I mean? So like for me, I just like
Okay. So the first one, this man, he posts this video himself on the internet because he's filming it. Apparently, and I don't know where it began, but his girlfriend, I'm assuming, he pushes her ass into some lake, like with this, and this is are y'all
oh
looking
yeah,
at it? Look at it, look at it. She's
I saw
like,
that.
"You threw me in the lake, blah blah blah." Like she is
Yeah,
literally upset. Like I don't know if maybe the girl
she
couldn't
sounded like she was
swim, the
dying.
water was right.
She can't
And
swim. She said
she
she
did
couldn't swim.
mention her hair, but off rip, she's like, "Why the fuck would you push me into this lake?" He's like, "You're being a crybaby about it." She's like, or that was some asshole shit. No, this was not her words, but I think this is what she would have said if she wasn't trying to catch her breath. She's like, "You pushed me into the lake." He's acting like she's crying, being a crybaby about like this shit look like a big old body of water. Okay. This ain't no baby
Mhm.
lake. This looks like a big old body of water. There's a current or a tide that's coming up. It's probably very deep. And he just pushed her in that bitch,
Mm.
filmed it, and is laughing about it. And clearly they're in some sort of situation because she's like, I'm gonna find my own way home. So they came together. So they know each other in whatever capacity. What the fuck? Why what is that? And then the second one, it's some story. This was from Spirit. The first one was on Baller Alert. The second one is on Spiritual Word. Husband pays for him and his friend to sit in first class, but paid for his wife to sit in economy. What? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I feel
She
like,
what?
yeah, okay.
And he says, "I paid for your ticket. Isn't that enough?" When she was like, "What the fuck is up with this?" And then he said that she said, then kept on about how I should stop acting like I was royalty. That if I come to think about it, even economy is fine for me since I technically don't work anyway. Mind you, they have
Mm.
children. So,
All right.
she's a stay-at-home mom, right? And she didn't go. She knew her worth and was like, "Fuck you," and didn't go on the trip, and he mad about it. So,
Mm.
Imma just these men out here really not liking women, but are in relationships with women, and I'm confused. I'm confused. So, Imma let you that's it. That's the question.
I
I
first
have no
just want to
answer.
know, Miss CTG, are you okay? Has anybody come into your life and hurt you recently?
No,
Yeah, we got to
I'm
make sure our
actually
queen is
really
good.
fantastic
Okay.
right now.
All right.
It really hurts my heart to just read shit like this because I'm just like, "This is gross and disgusting."
Yeah. Well, the internet is really great about showing you the worst side of people.
For sure.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that is what gets the most reactions, unfortunately. And to the alternative side of that, I also get sickened by watching people purposefully record themselves doing a
Fucked
good
up shit.
Samaritan. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go give this homeless guy a
Oh, that
sandwich, and like here he is holding it, and look at him, look how happy he is, look how happy I made this person. Now everybody like and
It's so
subscribe for more
dirty.
videos like these.
good
I
vibes.
hate,
It's so
I
dirty.
hate, I hate that. I don't know what's up with beta males. I feel like they've been given a rise because again they're so taboo and they're so gross. I think the joke is that they're stupid and that they think they're smart, but I feel like the rest of us are in on the joke and they're the ones who are clueless. First of all, men, don't treat your woman like your bros. Okay. Like there are certain things that you can do with your bros as haha. Now, there are certain women, I will say, that can prove that they're on a certain level or that they can take those kind of jokes or that they even find those kind of jokes funny. Okay.
Mhm.
But your woman will be very, very good about letting you know when she does not like those things. And you can't just keep on doing them because you think they're funny and she should just come around. Uh, that'll be that. Uh, uh, Maybe I should just be a beta male and
For
let
a
me
day.
see if I can find
Do it for,
reason.
you got to
Israel,
do it
go
for
ahead. I'm
her.
going to channel my inner beta male, and I'm going to come back to this platform,
Well,
and then I will be beta
with the
Todd.
what you call it, with the, because I watched the video with the dude and they were on that. I guess they were on a date. So I'm not into that in any aspect. Not with your boys doing it to you. Like if any of my boys did it to me, like we'd have to fight. You like I'd prefer it because I get to hit you.
Right.
And I don't think that men should be doing to women. Women should. That's not. There's nothing funny about that, especially in a situation like that. Like I have one of my best friends. He's actually hydrophobic. Like I don't think he knows, but like he definitely is. Like this nigga's like 6'4", and we had rented a villa and had a pool, and the pool was like 3 feet deep, and he was shook to like jump in. I'm like, "My nigga, there's no way. Like, sure, just don't dive in, but you could jump in. The water's barely going to your waist, and it would be like a countdown, like 10, 9. Like he's that scared. You don't know what he can't swim. Like you don't know what goes through people's mind with this, and not all of these jokes are funny. Like she was choking still when she got the water. And he's like,
Mm,
"Stop being a baby." And like, you don't, man, you lucky she don't get you murdered for that because that's what it
right.
felt. Probably felt like to her that was happening, that she was dying. He didn't help her out. There were steps there. She climbed out by herself. Or at least that's what it looked
Right.
like. It looked
She
like she climbed out by
did.
herself.
He
And
filmed her the whole time coming out of the water,
yeah, but that's
climbing up
that's
the
because
steps.
but people like that are also dudes that ain't never been checked before. Like I
Yeah.
said, they never did that to no. They never did that to one of their homies and had like somebody like for me, friend or not, I'll break your fucking jaw. You do some shit. Like if I really feel like I'm life in danger, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I
I
don't have
mean,
to.
I'm never gonna pull a prank on somebody and not expect full retaliation for it in the moment.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because like, and I think that's where I draw my line of my victims. You know what I mean? Like, because I think it's shitty for you to pick on people. I don't want to say who are defenseless. I mean, she can defend herself, but like someone who's doesn't have the same amount of power or strength that you do and is therefore unable to resist whatever you want to impose on them, like that's not necessarily funny. And like if you have to sacrifice your loved one's protection for somebody else's laugh and approval, you've got the wrong priority in your relationship. You know what I mean?
I'm
Those,
trying to
Like,
figure out whose laugh they were trying to get because that's
you know what
like
it is? Is
so
is
gross.
these days is everything is to go viral. everything.
It's
There was an
desensitization.
opportunity in him doing that. That people would be like, "Oh my gosh, this was hilarious." That she wouldn't be as angry and go along and would have came out like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then he just goes
Right.
viral, and he's trying to find celebrity within the dumbness of what he's doing.
I
It
mean, look,
sucks. That's the world we live in.
there are some women who will like, or some partners out there who would absolutely find that hilarious, but they would come up laughing out as part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I still haven't seen this reel, so I don't know like the danger level imposed
Dropped it in the
around it. But
notes.
like,
I said I
well,
dropped
I
it in the
mean,
notes, so you can go look and watch it if you want to, real quick.
for
Shit is
sure,
wild.
I'll check it out.
Stupid.
I don't think that like, I don't think that you should make your loved one the victim of your joke just to make your guys laugh or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, again, if there is someone out there who does find that funny and that's what you do want a partner, is like you want to date one of the bros just in like a woman. Like, I know a couple, they got married and they said that they knew that they were right for each other because he would like do Dutch ovens when they were in bed, which is when you pull the covers over everybody and fart inside the sheet. And she thought it was hilarious. And that's how he knew that she was the one. And like, cool, you know, there are couples
If you
have some
like it, I
weird
love
things.
it.
Right.
And the
But
thing is, it'd be one thing, yeah, if she was laughing with it, but she was clearly distraught,
right.
and he
She
was
was
like
super
gaslighting
upset.
her, like, "Oh, it's just some water. Don't you see
Yeah.
fish swimming in the water? What you crying about? You being a crybaby?" Nah, it's not a joke. Stop
That's
filming at this
yeah.
point.
That's stupid. Stop exposing her, and also stop paying forward the trauma that your dad probably taught to you. Like, we were
Woo!
taught to get shit up and like fucking brush it up and not cry. It's okay. It's okay to feel things. It's okay to not be okay with what just happened. Like, don't let our parents convince us that, you know, we have to fucking, yes, there is something to getting up, dusting yourself off and moving ahead, but don't let them ever fake you out and make you think that it's not okay to feel something, and men, that's not okay to cry and feel hurt or betrayed or insecure. Like,
And it's
stop paying that
also
shit forward.
super okay to be a fucking individual.
Yeah.
Think for yourself. Because I'm sure that this person, all they see is, there's a lot of like couples that are online that they do like prank wars with each other and shit like that, right? And they found
Mhm.
success in that. They're getting, hundreds of thousands of views and everything, and they're probably getting money off of that. All gonna find your own lane. Find a lane that makes sense. Don't force it. Why stop forcing shit, bro? Find what makes sense, what's gonna work for you, what you actually believe in, and do that. Do that. And also see if Shorty down.
Right.
Speak to your significant other. Communicate. Find out if this is okay. Because even within that, right, him pushing her on the water, right? If he had said, okay, hey babe, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna pretend like you didn't know I was gonna push you, and it's just gonna be like a real big prank, but it's gonna happen. Because this honestly is how they do a lot of it. When I was in, not this
I'm
trip, but my first
sure.
trip to Cali, some dude was like, yo, do you mind if I record you while I try to do this? I'm gonna pretend like I'm doing this prank, and I just need your reaction to be like this visceral. And like we were supposed to act like we're taking a selfie, and then he was gonna like come in close to try to kiss me, and I flexed on him. I said, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right?
It
That
was
was supposed to be the
planned.
prank. So he posted it online as me pranking people, fake selfie thing, and this is their reactions. The whole time I'm in on it. I knew exactly what he was gonna do. I knew what he wanted me to do. I think I may have scared him a lot because I don't know if he was ready for when I turned. I said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he really got scared. He really got scared. But that would save a whole bunch of these terrible incidents from happening. There was nothing wrong with having this conversation where, like, hey, look, you don't even really have to get in the water. I could wet you from outside the thing. You act like you just climbed out.
Right.
Nigga, that's all
Mm.
you had to do. Nobody would have been the wiser.
Hmm.
But they be doing too much. People want to, they want the quick way to the success. Don't nobody want to work anymore. That's why they try to leech off other people's shit. It's easier to leech off the lane that somebody else created rather than create your own. And that's why Manswers podcast is going all the way to the motherfucking top.
I mean, I
We've taken the
wholeheartedly
time.
agree because I'm blown away by TikTok, and this is a huge tangent, but like it is off the last thing you said, but like there's something to it that TikTok is so big and it's really just lip syncing other people's ideas. You know what I mean? It is you just carbon copying some, like someone said something inspirational, but look, it's going to look like I'm saying it. And there's something about like, or look, somebody else said this and it was funny, but if I look like I said it too, you know what I mean? Like there is a stripping of individuality and we are just cut and pasting ourselves on others. And I think it's why it's so important for us to create original stuff right now as an artist. But that is a tangent.
That feels like a whole separate show we could have about that. Put a pin in
Amen.
that one. Put a pin in that. But thank you
Pin is
for
in.
acknowledging. Thank you for touching on my topic. I feel like we got a little off, but that's okay. B-Dot, what you got? What you got going on?
Well, you know, this seems to be a part 2 all the way around. And so
Okay.
I wanted to bring us back to Pet Peeves Part 2. Oh, yeah. So I want to know, what are your pet peeves? Again, trying to leave out if you can remember any of the ones that we've said before. But I have a new one to go off of. And there's an additional question behind this. So what is your pet peeve is one. Do you have the power to stop yourself from reacting when it happens is part 2. Okay. Example. I hate when people cut me off, especially though,
Traffic.
like if you're asking me questions and you're asking me for my advice and you just keep talking over me while I'm telling you what to do or giving you the advice that you are seeking. And I just like can't get my fucking point out. I lose my shit. But yes, I do have power enough to kind of because it used to happen with customers all the time. Like Iz can tell you, when I was with customers and they would just be so invasive, so persistent, and they would just talk over me, and I'm like, you ignorant fuck. If you don't get away from me, I will throw you out the building. But I had to learn how to kind of.
That's why I used to ask them. I used to ask them this question when they did it. So if you know the answer, why are you asking me?
They know
serious.
so much.
Dead serious.
What did they say?
They're boiling.
Oh,
they don't.
That I'm being rude. Like a lot of times I say I'm being rude. I'm like, no, but you don't understand. Every time I try to speak, you cut me off. You're not allowing me to give you the answer. So if you already know, then I could just stop. And they would take the hint, and sometimes they would just stop. Sometimes they'll get mad about it. They think I'm rude, but like at the same time, you don't think you're being rude. You think
you're an
you're
adult
rude because you're a customer. You're an adult. You're still rude. You being a customer doesn't change the fact that you're rude.
I don't mind like groups of people talking. You know what I mean? And somebody like 2 people talk at the same time, so you got to fade back or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like this is a directed interactive question with me, and then as soon as I'm answering, you're talking over me or you're cutting me off. Oh, God. You think my face turns red. My ears will be the first to do it long before my face does. And when those ears go red, it's boiling. It's hitting peak temp.
I've seen it.
So how have you learned to, what did you say, control it or manage?
Control it? Yeah. Do you have the control to control your response? Mine was just the context is I'm on the floor and I'm on the clock and I am not about to fuck up this good job for nobody. But all the same, once you start getting repeat incidences of those so many times, it's like a workout, and eventually you just kind of learn just to kind of fade back. But I was bombarded with it and I was forced to evolve through that. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you breathing helps. And anytime I feel myself frustrated at all, one deep breath is all you need. If you can take one deep breath, you can really give yourself some power. Yeah. But what about you guys? What is a huge pet peeve, and do you have the control to stop your reaction?
Do you want to go next?
No, I'm gonna let you go because you know my memory is fresh.
Mine is I really hate when you're having an argument and you try to explain yourself and the person's telling you what you mean before you can finish it. Before you finish talking.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Foot and mouth disease.
Right? Like you're like, okay, this is how and why I did. And they're like, no, you did this because of this. And I'm just like, no. Let me tell you why. No, I know. But you don't, because I'm trying to tell you why. And that goes for relationships, that goes for like work. anything. Like
Right.
people are just trying to tell you what you mean, and you're literally like saying, "No, this is why." Even hey, this I'm wrong, and this is I know I'm wrong because of this. No, it's because of this. Let me tell you why. That there, that there is probably one of the things that irritates me the most, especially like in situations like relationship stuff, right? Hey, this is where I think this is going. That this may be unfair to me. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do this no more. See, I'm just trying to express to you my feelings right now.
Right.
I don't understand why you have to go that part. Like all you have to do is just listen to why I'm saying this. No, I understand. You don't. You keep cutting me off. So it leads into what people are saying because you keep cutting me off. And then not only are you cutting me off, but you're also telling me what I'm going to say instead of listening to what I'm
Oh,
trying to say.
oh my God.
Alternatively, adversely, whatever. I
Yeah,
hate
that.
when people say you're putting words in my mouth, but you're saying the exact
Literally
thing
what they're
that they
saying.
said because
Like,
I'm petty enough to remember it verbatim
Oh,
just
I
in case you
remember
come at me with
verbatim.
that
I
bullshit. I'm like,
remember
no,
verbatim.
no, you literally said da 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 da. And if I got you in text or print, I am petty enough to pull it out. Whip it out.
so
These receipts.
is the question, the second part of the question, can you
Do you
control
have
your
control?
reaction to that?
I do and don't. So I can control my reaction because it makes me very, very angry. If I don't like
You know better,
arguing,
but you don't do better.
yeah, I don't like arguing as a whole. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
I understand that is a part of growing, is a part of understanding. And in those instances, I may not like it, but I do understand what's behind it, so I'm okay with it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's get past it. I got it. I have to listen. Like I want to know why I fucked up. I want you to understand why I fucked up, and vice versa. But if you consistently do it, like if you're constantly doing it, I will just stop. I won't talk at all.
Hmm.
If you're not giving me
Yeah.
the opportunity for me to be able to share and speak my mind and to realize and go through what I'm feeling, then I'll just stop because obviously doesn't isn't not gonna happen. I'm not gonna fight with you for the opportunity to express myself. Once, twice, like cool. I won't say anything at all because there's no
Right.
point in me continuing this. So so that's where I say I can, but I don't because I'll just stop. And that's not the healthiest thing to do because I deserve the opportunity to speak my own mind. I deserve the opportunity to feel what I feel and to be able to express that. So that's not healthy for me to just stop. But at the same time, I don't feel the energy for the fight. I don't have that from at least again, I don't like to argue. There
Mm.
are arguments, but there should be an
I hate
opportunity
it.
for everybody to be able to speak their mind and to for us to grow and understand. If we're arguing with the idea that I don't get to talk, you're not listening to understand me. You're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
understand. You're not trying to grow. You're just trying to be mad. And I'm not with it. I'm just gonna stop.
The hardest muscle to flex is the one that keeps you shutting up when someone's trying to get out all their feelings. And in an argument, like that is the hardest muscle to flex is to keep your mouth shut until the desire to no longer communicate with you is gone. Then it's the
Mm-hmm.
easy, like once I shut down completely because I don't feel like my words have value or my feelings or anything. Once I go that opposite way, it's so hard to get me to come back to the table
Mm-hmm.
and feel that same patience that I wanted to. You know what I mean? But there's a give and take.
Mm. Okay, so I feel like all of ours are similar because the one that just came to mind, not just as you were talking, I have an ex and he would do this thing where I answer the phone, "Hey, what's up? Oh, what you doing?" And then immediately tells me the answer, what he thinks the answer is to what I'm doing before I even get the answer. So you're like, "What's up? What you doing? You at work? Oh, you must be working. You must be doing da da da. What? Oh, you must be doing your hair. Oh, you must." And I'm like, and it used to irritate me. And then finally, well, I mean, it still does, because clearly, but
That would
like,
piss me off too. I'd be
I
like,
used to
yeah,
respond, and now I just be quiet, and he's like, "Hello?" And I'm like, "Oh, I mean, I figure you just knew what I was doing, so I didn't need to say at that point, because what are we doing?"
oh my
And
god, I
it's
can
like, it's
see and
something
hear her saying
small,
that.
but it's like, why even ask if you feel like you just wanna
Right.
just throw some shit out there? Like, just don't
Right.
fucking ask me.
What you doing?
Because
Eating a
or
sandwich?
and
About to drive a car?
Right.
Do oil change.
What?
You about to do the lawn. What you doing?
It's a
Doing
different one
laundry?
that's exactly like that. Like people that try to finish a sentence for you.
I fucking
Oh
hate
my
that. Shut
fucking
the
god!
fuck up and just shut the fuck up. What's
I
wrong
just
with
start.
just hey,
I
what you
just
doing?
Right. Like
you're like yeah, because every now and again you gotta understand how to just be me. Hey. I was gonna say you gotta understand how to be a Pokemon master, but you.
so you just want to change your answer on GP.
I
No,
just
what I
changed
was
my answer.
gonna say
Right.
was what I was actually trying to say. And it was like, it's so small, but it was like the way he used to do it, which is it's just like, why?
You were already
Like,
over him at that point. You were past the fond feeling stage, and you guys were on the brink,
Yeah,
and that's when the
makes it
shit
much
stops
harder.
having as long of a leash. Yeah,
Yeah, it makes
but
it
like
much harder.
even after, during our friendship,
he would still do it.
it's just like, and you're right, it irritated me a little bit less when we were just like friends, but it's
Yeah,
still annoying as fuck. Because I
right.
feel like he did it even beyond, like, just the, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, there'd just be other times he would ask me something and then immediately answer the question for himself on, like, what he wants me to be doing or what he wants me to think about it. Because you want da 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 da. Actually actually, I don't. Actually, this is what I meant. And it's just like, why I gotta why? Just why? Why ask if you think you know? Like, let's just have the whole conversation with yourself. Fill me in on the details after. That's how I feel about that. So that's
Okay,
it's not as juicy as y'all's, but that shit mm,
another
gets
round.
deep.
This thing is just a human, uh, a human activity or human interaction, right? Something that not that we do in the middle of like saying things, but just things that people do that just annoy you. Okay, like along the lines of pet peeve star one, I was like chewing with your mouth open, right? Like that's a human activity, something that people do that piss you off.
Mm.
I don't know if I said this one last time or not. I'll go first
I got
again.
way close to that.
Okay, mine is stopping at the top or bottom of stairs. Like you go up or down, especially an escalator, and then they just stop. And it's like, well, now is the time for me to just plant myself right
Yeah.
here
You're
and
like,
figure
what
out
I'm
where I'm
doing.
going to go next. Like in New York, it bothered the shit out of me, but I found out it's worldwide. Like, I don't care where you are, the top or the bottom of stairs, there's a momentum law
Yeah.
here. And like, the answer to the other part of the question is no, I do not have the control to stop myself. I will shoulder bump you. I will scoot you aside. I will do one of those like weird cutoff things where I just like slide fully around you, stare you in your face, and then continue on my way. You know what I mean? But like,
You
I
know goes with that
fucking
B
hate
type.
that, huh?
You know goes with that, especially in New York. Motherfuckers that stop at the corner. Like they don't
Yeah,
cross the street, they just stop at the corner, like right at the where you would enter your crosswalk, and it's just like, why the fuck would? And then I love tourists, I love people coming to the city, but y'all stop with like 8 people in your family at the corner, and it's just like, why the fuck would you stop here?
I,
Why
We're
I'm
here?
a
trying to figure
huge
out where we're going, buddy. We're
You
just
should
which
huge
way is
person of
45th Avenue?
lanes of traffic.
you
Which
should be
way
Lanes of
doing
is
traffic.
you should
45th?
be doing that before you get to the corner.
Which
Waiting until you get to the corner is the dumbest thing in the world.
Stop over, like
That's like waiting
move
until you get
out
to a
of the side of the
stoplight to look
road.
for to like find out directions. Why are you going all the
Right,
way to the stoplight? And at the intersection, you like, is it left or right? God damn,
right.
shit.
Wow. Maybe I
That
should check the GPS.
this may not even be a pet peeve of mine, because but Vita, when you said the food thing, it caught me off guard because there was a security guard on my job. He still worked there. This nigga sips and he slurps, and after every slurp, he goes, no,
Yeah,
you have no idea. This nigga sat next to me and he goes after every
not
slurp,
every time, not
every
every
fucking slurp. Yo, I spazzed on him one time. This nigga he was sitting down eating lunch next to me, and all I heard was and then put the cup down.
that
Put the
son
cup
of a
down.
He said
bitch.
this shit
I
is
said,
refreshing as fuck.
what the fuck are
Right.
you doing, dog? Yo, what are you doing? What you have to? I said, every time, bro. Every time.
That's
Every time.
hilarious.
That same security guard. I tell you right now, B-Todd, no. This nigga says hello to you every single time you pass him.
That's
Every
polite.
No, no,
no
no,
no
no,
no
no.
no 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 no. Polite is I seen you 30, 45 minutes pass. I see you again, and maybe I don't see you for another day. And you just see me
Yeah.
and say, hey, every time I see you. When my job requires me to literally walk past you every 45 seconds and you still say, sup, that becomes an annoyance.
Every 45
He
seconds.
he acknowledged.
Sup.
Maybe he doesn't trust that you would acknowledge. You gotta give him the nod.
No, I just normally what I would do is I don't know if you guys have tricks when it comes to ignoring people, but one thing is I'll have headphones in my ear but nothing playing and just be
Mm,
like mouthing my lips to something like there's something playing.
mhm.
If I know that you won't take the hint with the headphones, some people will see the headphones alone. If I know
Mhm.
that you're particularly like ignorant about that, I'll take it one step further, or I'll just sing, or look down at
Do
your
you
phone,
pretend
look
to be
down
on
at
a
your
call?
watch, just talking, yeah, like talking to yourself, like, okay, let me see now. If I have my 5 o'clock and I have to move it up to my 5:30, I will talk with myself just to drown you out, so you can't talk to me. Like, oh, he must be
Yeah.
talking to somebody.
Okay. So mine is driving based. So doesn't count as a human interaction, right? That's regular, right? So
No, I
um
mean that's an activity.
well no,
Driving
because you
based, yeah.
said not like the interpersonal sort of situation. So the
Not like
driving one,
communication, like people
yeah,
things
oh,
people
okay.
say, and yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so mine would be when people slow down at a green light, or when it is a keep moving lane and they stop completely. Like it's one of those
Oof.
where it's a turn and it's a keep moving. So it says it before you turn, keep moving. And then it might say it again. It's like a yield, keep moving, so slow down to make sure you're safe and then keep moving. And they come to a complete stop. And everybody behind you knows we're supposed to keep moving. Or if it's
Mm,
okay, so I got a few driving based ones. I'm gonna leave it there. So just hitting your brakes as you go through a green light, because why? Why are we doing that?
yeah,
This is the time
right.
to go. This is when we speed up, we
Uh,
accelerate
I will say
to go through the
pedestrians
light.
usually have something to do with that.
No, 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 pimp. No, this ain't no
They
pedestrian-based
may tap their
situation.
brakes for pedestrians. No,
Promise, these are no pedestrians were involved or
fair
harmed
enough.
in these
Right.
traffic infractions. Yeah, yeah. And I do not have the control. Like I have a lot of emotional management practice. There's very few things that get me upset other than stupid drivers. Like my road rage, that I don't know, that's just going to be a forever thing for me,
It,
and I'm okay with
yeah.
it.
No, I mean, because that's really real. Because like that's a lot of bodily harm that can be done with a car. Same thing as like cyclists when it comes to pedestrians and stuff like that. Like I do in certain places like New York, there are lanes for cyclists, and it's great when those are used, and a sidewalk's not appropriate. You come down to Georgia, I may give
Every
a
now and
lot of
again
room
you
for
got a
bikes
cycle.
on sidewalks because the streets, I wouldn't even ride it on my bike here. You know what I mean? But like, I hate it when cyclists just like whiz by you, or they do that little cutoff where they're super super close to you, because again, you don't know if I'm about to randomly turn and point to something. You don't know if I'm going to stretch or whatever. And the minute you come inside that space bubble and you're coming really, really fast, you're going to injure both of us. And I don't like that. So that's me.
Are you talking about cyclists on the sidewalk still, and you're gonna stretch and hit a cyclist? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, I have the freedom to move my body however I feel when I'm on the
No,
sidewalk.
I
And
just
if
wanted
it's,
to get clarity if you were in a car, if you're a pedestrian in that
oh, no, I
example.
mean, like if I'm a pedestrian, I'm going to give your
Oh,
car
okay.
the right of way. I'm not going to just hold myself up. And I hate those people who like really take their time crossing the street knowing that
And then
you're
look at you
stopping just
like you're crazy.
yeah, like,
Okay,
"Hey, buddy, you're gonna back
3,
up?" I'm like,
part
"You."
3, the fucking jaywalkers in Atlanta, they will cross anywhere, right? I mean, it is at an all-time high. They are crossing anywhere and looking at you crazy as fuck because you're driving a car following regular traffic laws. What are you doing?
Yeah,
And then I can't hit you because then Imma go to jail. You're breaking the
right?
law, but I'm gonna go to jail. Ain't that some bullshit?
Mm,
Anyways, I'm
ain't it?
complete because you done got me started.
Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here before we lose our mind.
So one of us
That's
is
good
going
to
to
know.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? What?
It's not me.
All All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Manswers. We got another episode in the can for you. Don't forget to follow and subscribe, leave a review, share us with your friends. Find us on Instagram at ManswersPod. We are the Toxic Podcast for a better tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. It's Manswers from the Cancers, and the Leos, and the